Okay, so we'll start our 2026 budget work session. Change the slide up a little because we've been using that other one for a decade and it's exhausting. So we'll cover rates, levies, fund, the proposed budget for 2026, and our process and timetable. So here's a graph of the education fund revenue history showing our basic grant and other. We don't have much other revenue in basic or in general fund. This slide is a little scary. It shows our decrease in cash balance from 2021 to what we project in 2025. Okay, here's our levy comparison, 2026. Don't forget that's our advertised levy. So this could come out very different in December when it's approved, and then we can always adjust it after we get approval as well. You'll see there's a jump there in debt service from 22 to 23. That's when we started doing GO bonds to help keep the tax rate levy or tax rate steady as the assessed value went up. Operations, you'll see a 4% increase every year in the levy because that's the total that we're held to every year. Regardless of inflation going up more than 4%, we can only levy more than 4%. The issue with raising the levy in operations is it also raises our circuit breaker. So just because we have a higher levy doesn't mean we're actually going to get all of that increase. Okay, this is our budget comparison. Again, advertised for 2026. There in 2024, if you remember, I came to you and asked for a $2 million reduction in appropriations because there was a mistake on the budget previously. So that's why it looks a little higher than most. Our bus replacement plan, I have 2 scheduled on here to replace for 2026. If we did that, it would be through bond funds and not operations, but I wanted to show just that that's a possibility for next year. Starting in 2027, I show a 3-year lease, so the payments spread out over the next 3 years. We cannot replace a bus any sooner than 12 years, so that's why you'll see them kind of spread out like that. And this is a fluid document that we will change every year. All that really matters for 2026 budget. Yes. Capital improvements plan, not applicable because we are not going to purchase anything that costs more than $10,000 out of our operations. We just can't do that at this time. Computer equipment, software, we purchased out of bond. I know I stood up here last year and apologized for having to have an extra meeting in October and promised you that wouldn't happen this year. Then the governor said, hey, let's enact this bill that will just change everything you've been doing for the past 15 years. So we have been waiting to get auditor information and working with policy analytics to help us on our levies for debt and for operations. So we just received that information a few weeks ago. So I am asking that the board have a public hearing on the 7th, and then we will adopt the budget on the 21st. Any questions or concerns about the budget? I know in previous years, we've always tried to keep the tax rate level. I'm not sure that's a possibility this year. We'll see where we end up when we get our 1782 notice, but we're really just going to have to focus on keeping our levy as steady as we can.
I think the thing that in communications is we really make it the tax rate is going to be flat.
Correct.
So because of decreasing valuations, the rate's going to go up about.
Yes, our assessed value did drop by 3% this year. So 3%.
3% for the first time.
Yeah, Rush was a larger drop than Henry, but I think it averaged out to about. So the good thing is this year, taxpayers will for 2026 will receive a lot of new deductions, and so they're not going to feel it if there is an increase. So that's the good news.
Also get the $300 discount.
Correct. So and their assessed value went down, so their tax bills are already going down.
So in other words, the dollars we received was gonna be 3% less than last year, what you're saying.
Our, right, because
And
our,
that's based on the state giving different kind of credits.
so not necessarily for assessed value. Some of that is because of the credits, but not all of it. What will happen is the levy is, you take the levy and you divide it by your assessed value, and that's your tax rate, and then times it by 100, and that's your tax rate. So as our levy stays steady or goes up and our assessed value continues to go down, that's going to increase the tax rate. So,
And that's part of the overall frustration with this from the beginning is the assessment process and the fluidity of that. I can't imagine what has changed in our county over the last year, in our district over the last year, that it resulted in a 3% decrease after so many years of huge increases,
Yeah.
other than simply the desire for it to go down. A market-based system should not have that.
And if you call and ask them about the AD, the reason why they raised it is because of the market.
Mhm.
The market is so much higher now, and that's the reason why your AD's not. But what they're doing now, it doesn't look to me like that market going up or staying at a plateau means anything, does it? I mean,
and I have received parcel level data from Henry County, and I've sent that on to policy analytics, so they'll kind of dive a little deeper into that and see parcel by parcel where the rate changes were. And even if we were to decrease our rate, it doesn't mean that it will be a taxpayers, because other municipalities are going to grab that up.
sure.
That's what policy analytics is working on for us right now. I'd like to have that number. How much would we actually have to decrease before the typical taxpayer saw that in their bill? How much would have to be decreased to fill the circuit breaker loss of all the other taxing entities first? Because I think that's probably a remarkably large number.
Probably half of what. Revenue or more. Whatever you think, okay? Probably. Really close the door.
Any other questions?
Thank you, Stephanie.
Brian, do you want me with this?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Sure. So. Yeah. So. I have some. So, take a look and everything. That's right. What? We can't.
So this is the first time that I've ever had. I've always had TSA preaching. Usually Kobe.
One minute.
Yeah, yeah. So it's the same thing with TSA preaching, but the first supposed to get it is the big one. And what are you saying? I said, we need to see this. I don't want to go to jail. Oh, there.
Yeah.
I have 7 o'clock. Will everyone please rise? I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing. Maybe seated.
Oh, if I'd have known it was you.
You wouldn't have been interrupting anything. It was just Stephanie going over the budget.
It's actually my fault.
Mrs. Madison, would I ask you to do roll call, please?
Wade Beatty,
Here.
Cynthia Neal,
Here.
Gerald Leonard,
Here.
Graham Richardson,
Here.
Melissa Toth, Monica Van Hoy, here, Tom Schetzel.
Here. 7 members present. I will call the September 16th board meeting to order. Board members, you have the agenda in front of you.
Mr. President, I'll make the motion to adopt the agenda as presented.
I'll second, Mr. President.
Motion by Mrs. Neal, second by Mrs. Van Hoy to adopt the agenda for this evening. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carries. Minutes from our August 12th. Yeah.
Mr. President, I'll make a motion to accept the minutes from August 12th. as presented.
Second, Mr. President.
Motion by Mrs. Van Hoy, second Mr. Leonard to approve the minutes of our August 12th regular board meeting. Any additions or corrections? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carries 7-0. Thank you. Any visitors registered, Mr. Beanie?
Yes. One, Mr. Titus.
I just have a little document I'd like to read here. As you've been made aware of the incident concerning our son, Bo Titus, on August 18th, 2025, we would like to express our concerns to the board as we have revisited this incident endlessly among ourselves. We have appreciated the support and communication we received from Superintendent Mr. Vaney during the investigation process. We want to address the board ourselves with our expectations as parents and members of this community. At this point, we feel there has been ample time to address this incident and develop a definitive plan of action to prevent this neglect from happening to other students at Knightstown Elementary School. Our understanding is the position of school nurse, quote unquote, school nurse or quote unquote medical assistant at Knightstown Elementary School is actually an unlicensed assistant personnel with no licensing or medical accreditation. This is extremely misleading when the staff member is referred to as a medical assistant. We feel as if this incident could have easily been avoided if the school's medical assistant contacted the licensed medical professional or had adequate recognized training to be their quote unquote medical assistant. This job title does not represent a position for transparency to the public. We fully understand that every school cannot have a BSN at their location, but it is unacceptable to have someone with no formalized medical education be responsible for the medical care of young children. Our son was overlooked because he was not throwing a fit about doing his thing. He fell at 10:02 a.m. The medical staff member contacted his mother at 10:28, reporting he was fine and back at recess. Then his arm fracture was immediately noticed by family who carried him off the school bus at 3:50 p.m.